YouTube? What's going on, man? It's Father Dark. We're only 2 days out from the season 1 release of Marvel Rivals, and if you're not excited about it, you might as well go ahead and get excited about it. And in today's video, obviously, we're going to be covering everything that you need to know that we know also, like, so far that they've officially released. We're not really covering any, like, stuff that's been leaked that we don't know for sure. A lot of content creators are out here just posting stuff just for the hell of it, but we already know more than enough, from, different content creators who are given early access and things that they've put on their own Twitter page, X, if that's what you choose to call it, whatever. But nonetheless, though, let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is nerfs. Two big nerfs coming that a lot of people, have been complaining about, Hela and Hawkeye. Now, me personally, I don't really feel like Hawkeye needs a nerf. I feel like if you're able to hit your shots with Hawkeye, he should be, one-shotting you if it's a headshot. Hela, though, I do think maybe she could use a slight bit of tuning personally, and this is coming from someone who started out the game maining Hela, but I just kind of felt like it was just a little too easy with her. I don't know exactly what they're nerfing on the two of them, but I'm sure they'll figure out a nice balance workaround, or workabout for them to make them a little bit more, in line with the rest of the characters. So next we're gonna cover buffs. People who are getting buffs is gonna be Captain America and Venom. Also, they're gonna be buffing Wolverine. I think what I saw they said they were gonna be doing was taking him from like 300 to 350 HP. Cloak and Dagger is getting a buff with their ult, so instead of only being able to use the ult like for 3 little spins, you'll be able to do it for 4 now, which I've really been enjoying Cloak and Dagger, as you can see from the gameplay. That's what I've been using lately. And last but not least, as far as buffs, Storm. Now, Storm has become kind of like the joke of the community in regards to, I feel like it's kind of like in Call of Duty, how I used to say there's no such thing as a good Snoop Dogg, meaning that if you saw a Snoop Dogg, you pretty much knew it was free, for free elimination. I feel like that's kind of like where we've been at with Storm, and it's not necessarily, because Storm players aren't good. It's just that Storm just, it's like if you compare her to someone like Iron Man, she kind of seemed like pointless, doesn't do a lot of like damage as far as a DPS, extremely slow movement speed. Her ult actually is not bad, but that was pretty much like the only saving grace in regards to Storm. And I really feel like, it's Storm. You know what I mean? I feel like she's pretty much, in my opinion, the queen of the mutants. I mean, she controls literal like weather, so she should just be a lot stronger than she is. But yeah, they're definitely going to be buffing her. I saw that they're basically giving her a little bit more damage per shot, and I think they're also buffing her movement speed as well. So yeah, the next thing we're going to cover is, we obviously know that Reed Richards and Sue Storm will be the 2 new characters that we're getting, and we'll be getting, the Human Torch and the Thing in the mid-season update. But with Reed and Sue, they're going to be giving them both like an alternative skin for their characters. I'm probably going to do another video explaining the lore and background to those characters for people that don't know. So if you're interested, be looking out for that. I'll probably drop that like tomorrow at some point. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna do a short or just do an in-depth video. Let me know in the comments what you guys want. If you want like a really good breakdown, because I feel like especially Reed Richards, the Maker, skin in the background to that and everything that happened with that storyline, I feel like is very interesting. That's from the Ultimate Universe, for those of you who actually like follow comics and know what's up. But yeah, so we'll be getting a skin for him, and then we'll be getting a Malice skin for Sue Storm. So I don't know as much about that one. I'll have to do a little bit more research into that one, just being honest. But nonetheless, though, those will be 2 skins, and to my knowledge, those will be dropping at release. I haven't seen anything that said they'll be dropping later. I think that's one of the biggest things I like about this game, is they don't pull a COD where they release the season and they know that everybody kind of wants a particular skin or something, and then they go, hey, you know what we should do? Let's drop that 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later, and then give no heads up as to when we're going to drop it, and I feel like they do that on purpose, simply to kind of make you like get other purchases, you know what I mean, that you other skins and stuff that you'll see, and then go, by the time it rolls around, you end up having to spend more. But I like that they're dropping these ahead of time. So sorry, dog was barking at the mailman. So where was that? Let's see here. So we have season 1. It is going to be 3 months long, which I think that's kind of long for a season, but maybe they'll have enough content to keep us interested. I'm usually used to more like shorter seasons, like 2 at a time. But it is their first season, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. Nonetheless, the season will be split into 2 parts. So obviously they're going to give us like a mid-season update, which, if it's right in the middle, it'd be a month and a half. And I'm assuming they're going to add in some more content. Then, I mean, we know we have 2 new characters coming, but I'm assuming they're probably going to drop new maps, maybe a new game mode or something like that. But the verdict's still out on that one. So let's see. We have 3 new maps coming. We have Sanctum Sanctorum, which is going to be an arcade mode. That was the new one I think they were talking about. And then we're going to have Empire of Eternal Night, which is going to be Midtown. That's going to be a convoy map. And then we're going to have Central Park, which is also going to be a convoy map. So let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, they also said that they're going to nerf Jeff's ultimate. Now, some people may disagree on that one. Some people may agree. If you play a character that has really good movement, it has some way to get out of Jeff's ult. Like let's say you play Psylocke or something. You can just dash out of there really quick when you hear it coming. If you are Punisher main, you can just put your turret up or something really quick, and he can't CC out of that. But if you're someone who plays a character that has 0 movement ability whatsoever, or it takes you a long time to use that movement ability that you do have, that this is probably something that you're going to be welcoming. But, I have a buddy, me and him were going back and forth last night. He was like, oh, well, people need to stop crying about it. And me personally, I don't really care one way or the other, because out of all the healers, I think Jeff and Adam Warlock are probably the 2 that I play the least. So to me, it's not that deep. I don't really care whether it's the same or it gets nerfed, whatever. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think that people are complaining too much? Do you think that it needed a rework? Let me know how you feel about that. So next thing we have is ranked. Now, I think, most people know that play any ranked in any game. If you don't, they're going to be resetting the rank, which is pretty standard and customary, with ranks. I don't really know any games where they don't do that. It doesn't really make any sense and kind of would be pointless for the grind if it didn't get reset. But there is going to be a new rank that they're adding in called Celestial, which will be in between Grandmaster and Eternity. Also, too, something cool that they're doing is on the Marvel site for this game. I don't know the site exactly, but I just know that on whatever site they have for this game in particular, they will be showing pick rates win pick rates for characters that, obviously, people, they'll be showing the characters and then showing what the percentage is for the win rates. So that will be nice. Like if you're curious as to, who wins the most with what, character and stuff like that, that'll kind of be able to give you a little bit of insight, or give us a little bit of insight into, who's doing what with whom and stuff like that. Now, I don't think that doesn't mean that, with the game still being in what I consider to be its infancy. I mean, we're only going into season 1, and I think as time goes on, there's a lot of characters. Like if you take Wolverine for an example, there's a lot of people who thought Wolverine was a terrible character, as far as a DPS or just character all around, until people realized that he was pretty much made to take out tanks, which that can be really helpful. If you're going against a team and they have, multiple tanks and stuff like that, you'd probably want a Wolverine on your team because he pretty much makes them fear for their lives. So, I think that as time goes on, there's going to be a lot of characters that we're going to look at and say, hey, maybe we've been playing these characters completely wrong, or, sleeping on certain ones that were actually really good. So let's see. What else do we have here? We have quality of life improvements. So in regards to that, there's going to be new graphic improvements for frame rate, which, is interesting simply because this game is not necessarily a super graphically demanding game. I didn't really pay attention to it when I first started it because I didn't really notice any issues, but I think I was getting a constant 80, 90 frames per second, and I didn't know that initially. It wasn't until later I turned my frame rate monitor on to be able to see what I was getting. And when I actually looked at the graphics, the presets that I had them at the highest presets possible. And I actually just yesterday turned them down a little bit. Now I'm getting up into the, the hundreds, I believe. So, me personally, I don't really know why they would need to do that. I guess there are some people that are using equivalents of, no offense, but toasters to be able to play the game on. Because me personally, I haven't, when I first built my PC last year, I didn't go crazy on it simply because, I just wanted to kind of start in a middle ground and then kind of see what I felt like I needed to improve on instead of just going absolutely bonkers, because my monitor only has a refresh rate of, 144 FPS. So, until I get find a monitor. I'm just kind of waiting right now simply because we're at like this period of time where like a bunch of like new monitors are coming out and stuff like that. So until I get something that can handle, late 200s, early 300s, stuff like that, that has really good resolution, I was going to kind of hold off. Also, we're in that period of time too where like new graphics cards are releasing, that are making ones that, seem like they're the best right now, seem obsolete. So I was also kind of holding off on that too, to kind of see. But like I said, though, my PC is by no means like, a powerhouse or anything. It can play pretty much anything. But, take like Call of Duty, for example. I feel like one of the games that are probably more graphically demanding than most games like this or Fortnite or other more cartoony looking games. I'm still able to get upwards of, 120 frames a second. When there's not bugs and stuff in the game. Lately, there's been something where, like on the bigger maps, I've only been able to get, like 90 to like 110 frames, depending upon, where I am on the map or inside, outside, how much action is going on in one area. So, there's that. But like I said, I will be interested to see how these quality of life improvements, because I did notice there was a game I had the other day and my frames dipped really bad. We had like 3 Doctor Strange portals, and I know that sounds crazy, but it was basically like I think someone on my team or the enemy team had put up, they didn't know how to use the portals, so they put one portal up and then there was a portal right next to it, and then the enemy team had portaled in from wherever they were. And whenever that happened, I think I still have the clip. I'll have to go through to see whatever, but I did notice my game tanked. It went down to like 40 FPS, and I'm pretty sure it's because the game wasn't designed to be played like that. Like, people that probably know how to use it weren't. And I'm pretty sure the guy was on my team because, he's a friend of another friend that I play with. And, he'd even said, he's like, I don't know how to do the strange portals. Like, I don't know which one's the beginning and which one's the end. And I think he just kind of like panicked portal, but nonetheless, though, so next quality of life improvement they're going to have is mouse acceleration. Now, me personally, I play on controller, so that's not really doing anything for me. But I know there's a lot of, keyboard and mouse elitists out there who feel like that's the way the game should be played, which I've actually been thinking about trying to play on keyboard and mouse simply because I feel like this is the kind of game where, like, you probably should if you have the option to play on keyboard and mouse, but I haven't noticed where like I've really struggled or anything. I feel like with the right sensitivity, there's really not that much of an issue on controller. But for those of you that do play on keyboard and mouse, you should let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in or work on. And last but not least, they have streamer mode, which kind of interesting. They didn't add that in already, especially with like the game's popularity and stuff. Not having streamer mode, that seems like that's something that's kind of easy to implement. But whatever. I get it. They're focused on other things, and that's good sometimes to be focused on the more, I guess, like important features in the game versus kind of like these quality of life type of deals. But that is good though for people that do stream and content creators and stuff like that. Personally. So, but yeah, besides that though, I think season 1 is actually going to be pretty good, to be honest with you. It seems like they're going in the right direction with this game. Me personally being somebody who is a Call of Duty, predominantly was a Call of Duty content creator and someone who has not liked hero shooters at all in the past. Like I know there's a whole group of people that's their thing and they love it, but with me, you couldn't get me to play one to save my life, right? And that was a big thing between me and my buddies because literally all of my friends, even siblings and stuff included, all love hero shooters, and I've always been the COD kid wanting to do all that type of jazz. But COD has just went in a direction lately that has been, God, it's almost unbearable to play the game, and it's just like they do not even care. I have no idea what's going on over there at Activision Studios and whoever's working on Black Ops 6 at the moment. I think it's Treyarch, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. But nonetheless, though, it doesn't matter. It's just, collectively as a whole, they're just, I think they've just been on top for too long, and they just feel like they can just kind of do whatever and get away with it. Whereas, and I was saying that to say that this game being able to take me away from COD says wonders, especially when it's not something that I'm usually interested in. That's kind of how things work in life most of the times is, it's kind of like if you're, someone who only prefers, sports cars, and they just make a truck that's just so cool that even though, you can't stand trucks, you're just like, well, I gotta get that, like this thing's fire. That's kind of where we are with this game. And I feel like that by itself is just saying so much about the game and the state that it's in and what they're doing. And also, I think the thing is too, is being a huge comic book fan, loving, the Marvel MCU universe and just everything that all that kind of includes. I'm really interested to see where they're going to be going in the future. And I think that this game has so much potential simply because if you take a game like Overwatch, people complain about the lack of characters and stuff. They're like, well, we've only gotten so many characters over the span of a year, and Rivals is releasing 4 in their first season. And the thing is you have to think about it. There are infinite amounts of superheroes and stuff, and just characters in general that they have the ability to be able to put into the game. Even if you were to take away like mutants and then just say the regular superheroes, and then if you were just to say X-Men, this game could go on for 30 or 40 years, and they would still be able to pop out new characters every couple of months for the new seasons and stuff that happen. So, not to mention infinite cosmetics, because every character has had so many different versions. There's so many, different, like I said, versions of characters throughout multiverses and stuff like that. It really just becomes infinite once you start to kind of do the math on it. So there's just so many things. So as long as they keep continuing to add maps and, there's not as big of a cheater problem as there is like in a lot of other games and stuff, which, you're going to have cheaters eventually, but I feel like if they, keep a lid on that, keep that down, they keep pumping out the content, they're listening to what the player base is saying, constantly, kind of nerfing characters, buffing characters where they're needed, not just for the sake of doing it. Also, too, I really like the seasonal buffs to certain characters, so maybe you have characters people don't play as much, don't really like as much, and then you just buff the hell out of them the next season, and they're now up there and have a higher pick rate. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments of what you guys are excited about, what you're thinking about the game, all that, just pretty much anything. It doesn't really matter. Just get up in there, talk it out. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and stuff. Also, too, like I said, don't forget, let me know if you guys, I'm thinking about starting to kind of do like some videos on the side where, because like I said, I love comic books. That's been my thing. You can't see my camera right now, but in the back behind all my figurines and stuff that I have on floating shelves and stuff, I have numerous comic books back here. So I really love to vent and talk about different characters and their skins and the lore behind them and where they come from and everything like that. So if you guys want to see videos where I'm just kind of like discussing where did this skin come from, what's that from, what's going on with this person, why do these two characters have the interactions that they have, whatever, right? Let me know in the comments if that'd be something you guys would be interested. If not, completely understand. May just do it anyway, to be honest with you. But definitely, if you guys are interested in that, I'll start popping those out. So, but yeah, it's dark, and I will catch you guys on the next one.